Welcome to the Mind Myself podcast. I'm Esther, and it is my pleasure to be bringing you information about healthcare approaches, health issues, and people's health journey stories, all from the complementary, holistic, and integrative perspectives, helping you become your own best health advocate and helping you make your own informed choices because you matter. Welcome to Mind Myself Conversations with E. I'm Esther, or you could call me E, founder and CEO of Mind Myself. And it is my pleasure to welcome to our show today, Linda Joy Benn. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you so much, Esther. So wonderful to be here with you. Thank you.
Fantastic. You're welcome. Let's start us off by finding a little bit about you. So tell us where you are in the world and some of your credentials, and what do you do for a living?
Cool, thanks. So I'm located in Brisbane, Australia, and I've been in the health and wellness industry for about 30 years. And my title at the moment is Burnout to Balance Specialist, but I'm an NLP master, Reiki master, timeline therapy, hypnotherapy, advanced practitioner, and lots of different body work, energy work, and healing modalities, somatic healing, trauma release, and combining a lot of my natural intuitive gifts with all the other different modalities that I've studied over the years, which is more on the energy side. And I'm also a teacher of Palawa healing, which Palawa is an angelic word for a radical shift in consciousness, because it shifts consciousness, expands awareness, and connects all 12 strands of DNA. So I've been teaching those workshops for the last 20 years and traveling back and forth to the US teaching that and helping people to raise the energy vibration, but reconnect to their soul's mission, their soul's purpose, and why they're here on this earth. So,
wow.
Yeah.
If that's not a big calling, I don't know what is. That's phenomenal. So, and do you prefer Linda or Linda Joy?
Linda Joy, because Joy is my middle name, and I've been told by many clairvoyants that I've met over the years, joy is your purpose for being here. And so it's like, well, joy is a high vibration energy. And if I can get everyone to really step into their joy and increase their joy, well, then the world will be a happier place and they'll be happier, and it just brings more light and love and joy. And yeah, that's why we're all here, to reconnect with our joy. So
excellent. I totally agree with you. And what a fantastic mission. So today we're going to veer a little bit off, at least at the beginning, from joy, and we're going to talk about your 30-year journey with an eating disorder. Tell us a little bit about the context of that and where it started and what happened that was such a long journey for you.
So it started when I was a teenager, and I grew up in a quite an abusive family where I was ostracized, and yeah, there was a lot of abuse. And my older sister kept telling me how fat and ugly I was. And I was just craving love. I just wanted to be part of the family. I wanted them to love me and accept me, because I was just pushed aside. And so I thought, right, okay, well, how am I ever going to get a boyfriend if I'm fat and ugly? And my sister was always thin and always, attracting boys. And I thought, well, I need to be thin in order to attract a boyfriend. But I was also always athletic. So, but that's where it started. And I started the bulimia and noticed that I was, losing weight, and people were, you know, recognizing and complimenting, and it was like, oh wow. And then it just kept going and going, and then I was just stick thin, though it became more of a mental illness, because when I still looked at myself in the mirror, it was like, oh no, I've still got fat on me. And so that's where the disease comes in. And then the abuse and the ostracize. My family were not supportive at all, and actually shaming me and belittling me, and then also criticizing and judging
Mm.
how horrible I looked. And
Wow. So fat or thin, it
mm,
didn't matter. The criticism and abuse continued. So this strategy of trying to be thin didn't work anyway, right?
no, no.
Right.
And so, and it was a lot of shame and guilt and hiding that went on. And yes, I was very social. I was out, people would go, oh my God, you're the life of the party. But then there was also that, shadow side where I was just hiding this disease, and no one knew.
Right.
And it was all just suppressed emotions. I had no one to talk to. I didn't know how to handle it, what to do, or even who to trust, or who was my support network, or who do I go to, because my family were not there for me. And so
Mhm.
I just put on this happy face,
Mhm.
and on the outside it looked like, yeah, everything's good, but on the inside I was suffering and really struggling, and so unhappy, so alone, so sad, and then carrying all this guilt and shame and remorse, and just hating myself. Yeah, so that created the cancer.
Oh, wow. And we're going to talk about cancer in
Mm,
another talk as well. But
mm.
so how did this, you're looking happy and cheerful and together on the outside, but not on the inside. And how did that affect your life, your career, your relationships, your self-perception? How did that impact all of that as you continue to mature into an adult?
Well, there was a lot of fear around food, and especially going to a smorgasbord, and I would just freak out. It's like, oh no, here comes another binge and another purge, and basically that was the cycle.
Mm.
You just consume all this food, and then you go purge it all. And there was days where I was just eating and purging like 3 times a day. It was
Mm.
horrible. And so much, and just feeling so much remorse and
Mhm.
sadness, and just go, oh, I just want get off this cycle, get off this merry-go-round, day after day. And then that affects your sleep, it affects your nervous system, it affects every system and organ in your body, as well as your teeth. And so it was just this constant fear around any social event that included food,
Mhm.
and the fear of, oh my God, it just, yeah, made it really uncomfortable for me. Mm.
Pretty much in every situation, it sounds like
Oh,
that was the foundation of all of your interactions. Got it. And what kinds, over the years, what kinds of treatments or therapies did you try, Linda Joy?
everything from psychologists who really did nothing.
Mm.
It was like, you can talk and talk. And I went to this eating disorder group, you know, every week you go and talk, but this was also at the same time I was learning all my healing modalities, and then I was like teaching them what I was learning. And so that's when I, you know, created like this support group. They would come over to my place and we would support each other and, you know, and high five each other if we had a good day.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and plus, yeah, it was more of all the healing modalities and everything that I've learned over the years, lots of kinesiology, lots of trauma therapy and getting to the root cause. Though it was I mean, I met my now spiritual teacher 20 years ago, and that definitely helped because it was like, well, everything's a choice. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's a cycle. And when you're at a crossroads, and it was the Palawa healing, which really helped me because I realized then that you doesn't matter how many healings, you got to shift the consciousness, and you can't heal or fix the physical body with the mind that created it. So it all starts with with your mind, and it's about making a better choice for your health and wellness. And so that was the choices. I weaned myself off alcohol. I used to be a social smoker as well. Well, maybe a couple a day. I mean, most people go, oh, why bother? But you know, stop that. Stop. So I was looking at what were my triggers, and really deep diving into what triggered off the urge to want to eat, and then stopping that cycle and making a better choice. Because
And
thought,
how did you come to that? I think you're about to do that with your action, but
yeah.
how did you come to that choice? If people say, well, that sounds really good and easy, but how did you make a new choice every time?
So thoughts come in, and then we get to decide whether to act on that. So thoughts, and still today, I get those thoughts. It's like, oh, I feel like, and it's like, where'd that come from? No. And you take charge of your life, and it's like, no. And it's like the 90-second rule. Do something else to distract and change, and just don't give your energy or power to that thought, and don't act on that. And everyone has the ability to do this. But with addiction, it's like, it's as soon as you take that action, well, guess what? You've already started the cycle, and then you've got to finish it. And so, and what I recommend to your audience is to forgive yourself even after that's happened. And it's like, today's a new day. And set yourself up for success for that day. Today's going to be a fantastic day, and I'm going to love and nurture myself. And what loving and nurturing and kind things can I do for myself today? And keep setting yourself up. And then every time you get that urge, it's like, no, no, I'm in charge of this body. I'm in charge. And so those thoughts will constantly keep coming in. And this is what any addiction is. It's about you taking your power back, and taking charge. What I used to see, because I've done a lot of work on this, you know, those big Michelin men, you know, the
Mhm,
tire,
mhm,
and
mhm.
it was like this big Michelin, it was like a cord this big Michelin man, and it's like, why am I eating all this food? And it was like he was going, feed me, feed me. And so you've got that in your ear 24/7. And I remember I would have dreams about, oh, I'm going to plan my next binge. And it was horrible. That is no way to live. And
Mm.
so that was haunting me for decades. And that affects every area of your life, your social circles, your friendships, your relationships, intimate partners, because it's like you're hiding this horrible disease, and there's a lot of shame and guilt. So that's what I've had to work on releasing, and over the years, and just keep releasing. And I'm pleased to say it's like I feel really like I've got this.
Oh,
And
that's so good.
yes,
And
yes,
so I have a question around that. What did support look like for you as you evolved in this journey? And it's so great to hear. I've got this now. What
yeah.
was your support journey? Was it easy to find support? Was it difficult? Was it easy for you to accept support?
Do you know, every therapist or practitioner I'd ask about this, and they didn't have an answer, because no one really specialized in this area. And psychologists, unless you've experienced it yourself, you don't know. You've just learnt something out of a textbook. You haven't actually experienced it yourself. You're just reverberating what you've learnt, and this is the process, and do this and this. But until you've had lived experience, they don't quite understand.
Mm.
And so in regards to support, it was not something that I talked about with friends, and it was just something that I learnt to manage by myself. Yeah.
Wow. So you had this long, hard journey over decades, and you've come to a really awesome place. Is this
Yeah.
one of the things that you help people with your Palavar work?
Uh no, no. Well, Palawa is more of an enlightenment modality that shifts consciousness, and it's to raise your vibration and energy, and connect you to your higher self. So whatever is going on physically is going to automatically change and evolve and shift and heal itself. The body will heal itself. And so what I teach people is how to take charge of your life and heal your own body, regardless of your past, regardless of your background, regardless of what addictions you've had, because there's so many addictions, but it's all emotional based. So when you can actually look at the emotion and turn that around and reframe it in your mind, and make a better choice for your highest good and destiny, well, then you'll make a difference. And then you can take charge of your life, and really create the life that you want, because everything that's going on in our lives on a daily basis starts with the thought, and then the thought creates the feeling and the emotion, and then it will create the action or the behavior. So it's like, well, this thought is coming in. Do I choose to act on it or not? And that's the crossroads. So what Palawa does is, actually, when you're at that crossroads, you have a choice. If I go down this road and eat and binge, I'm going to feel like this, which is horrible. Or I can go down this road and go out and have a beautiful walk and enjoy the Mother Nature and the flowers and enjoy the beautiful world that we live in, or go and talk to someone, or do something nurturing for you. So everything's about choice. And it's not about focusing on the physical body and what's wrong with me. Because for years I was trying to fix the physical body, and through, yeah, and I know this, but being a human, I had my own issues to work through. But we're so much more than this physical body, because we're this soul, we're so much bigger. So the
Right.
physical body is just a temporary vehicle in this lifetime. And so, yeah, that was my experience with the eating disorder.
Wow.
Mm.
And if somebody's listening and they're all the way into this conversation and they're maybe feeling a little discouraged themselves because maybe
Mm.
they've tried therapy and support groups and whatever other things that have come their way,
Yeah.
what advice would you give somebody who might be wrestling with an eating disorder today?
Is to stop, breathe, and really connect and just pause. Like I said, give yourself 90 seconds, put an alarm, and it's like, I'm going to breathe through this. I'm going to feel the feelings and feel all those feelings. Feel the fear and the sadness and the hurt and the shame and all the feelings. It could be anger and rage, and just sit there and feel it and breathe through it. And then if you feel like...
Thank you for being with us at the Mind Myself podcast today. We know that time is precious and you've spent some of your valuable time with us. We're grateful. If you would like to reach out to our guest directly, the information is below. And if you would like more from Mind Myself, that information is also below. Please visit our website and check out all the information about the different complementary, holistic, and integrative healthcare approaches, information about health issues, more podcasts, tons of blogs, and we even have a community page for you where you could reach out and tell your story safely, or you could ask questions and perhaps somebody else in the world is going through something similar to you. In any case, we're so glad you're with us, and we're doing this because you matter.